The Lincoln Wishlist sales event is happening now. Here's what's on everyone's wish list. Enjoying holiday jingles with brilliant 3D audio that surrounds you? Check. Watching snow flurries through the panoramic Vista roof? Check. Packing up presents with the spacious Lincoln Splitgate? Check. Everything you want. All standard on the 2025 Lincoln Navigator SUV. Visit your local Lincoln retailer or learn more at Lincoln.com for exceptional offers on 2025 Lincoln vehicles today.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana makes car selling fast and easy from start to finish. Enter your license plate or VIN and get a real offer in seconds, down to the penny. If you accept, Carvana will come pick up your car from your driveway. Or you can drop it off at one of our car vending machines. Either way, you get paid instantly. It's fast, transparent, and 100% online. Car selling that saves your time. That's Carvana.
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
Me and my older son tried to break them apart with the sticks, but they wouldn't budge.
Oh my goodness.
So we were basically just watching our dog die before our eyes.
This is the plaintiff, Elizabeth Sanchez. She says her dog, Coco, was outside in her yard, tied up to her chain when the defendant's vicious pit bulls came onto her property and savagely attacked her. The two pit bulls grabbed onto Coco's neck and started chomping. There was blood everywhere. Turns out these pit bulls have escaped before. They're a menace to society. And for some reason, the defendant won't pay her in full for the vet bills. She's suing for $1,266.27, the amount she's owed. This is the defendant, Timothy Reardon. He says his dog somehow got out and approached the plaintiff's dog because there was food and water nearby, and they started fighting over it. He paid the vet bill in full, and now the plaintiff's coming after him for a broken screen door and anything else she can think of to stick it to him. Well, he's sorry his dogs got out, but he did the right thing, paid the vet bills, and that's all he's willing to do. He's accused of losing control of his dogs.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Elizabeth Sanchez, you are suing Timothy Reardon, your neighbors?
Same neighborhood.
You can say
Same
that,
neighborhood?
yeah.
Okay. For $1,266.27 in vet bill, front door damage, and pain and suffering stemming from an attack by his two pit bulls that got loose on your pit bull.
Correct.
This may be first pit bull on pit bull.
I think it is. I don't think we pay.
First pit bull on pit bull for me.
Interesting.
It's a long time I've been doing it. First pit bull on pit bull.
Yes.
Okay, fair fight. Let's hear it.
All right. Okay, so on September 23rd, I had my dog tied up in the front, short chain, front of my lawn.
Do you have a fenced-in front?
I don't have a fence in front. I was doing my usual, getting ready for work. My boys were getting ready for school. Out of nowhere, then I heard some rustling going on.
Does she sleep out there, or did you?
No, she does. She sleeps in the house.
So you had just put her?
I just put her out so she can do her thing in the morning before we go to work.
Okay.
In school. So she went to go to the bathroom.
Right.
And I usually leave her there.
I know what her thing is.
Yeah. I don't want to say it. But we usually leave her there for maybe 10 minutes so she can stretch out her legs, get some air before bringing her back in. So within that 10 minutes of time frame that I normally leave her out there, I heard some rustling going on. No barking, but just something. I heard it, my son heard it, we both ran out at the same time, and that's when we found two dogs latched onto my dog.
Latched on how?
I believe that the female is the brown dog. She was latched onto my dog's neck, and the other one was just gnawing at her body.
So what'd you do?
I panicked. I screamed. A lot of neighbors heard it. And the first thing I did was I ran back into my house. I grabbed my pool sticks from downstairs in the basement. And between me and my older son, we tried to...
How old are your sons?
9 and 15.
Okay.
So me and my older son tried to break them apart with the sticks, but they wouldn't budge.
Oh, my goodness.
So we were basically just watching our dog die before our eyes.
Never easy.
It's not.
That's not what ended up happening, though, right? A neighbor got involved, and what happened?
My neighbor, thank God for him, Mr. Carlson, he lives 2 houses to the left of my house. He saw from his second floor window what was going on. He loves my dog like it's his own dog. And he came out with all his strength, grabbed his female pit off of my dog by her collar. So as he tried pulling her off my dog's neck was still latched into the dog's mouth. So basically ripping, kind of doing more damage, but finally his dog let go and he held her. The other dog, the male dog, kind of like just stood there watching because I was kind of like scaring the male dog away.
All right, so he pulls the dog off that's got the neck chomp, and then the other dog does not lunge. Does he end up getting hurt?
He did. The dog, as I was unlatching my dog from my chain, her chain, I got her in the house, and at that time, the other dog bit him in his hand.
The boy dog?
The female.
The female bit him where?
Bit him in the hand, and he let go. And at the time that him letting go, both dogs saw that my dog was getting in the house, and they charged towards my door and basically kind of ripped through my screen door.
Oh my goodness! So you got to close the
So
door before they could come into your house.
Correct.
And they ripped through your screen door trying
Yes.
to get at your dog.
Correct.
All right. Now, how did your dogs get out?
I don't know. I have a 15-foot kennel out back, and I keep them. They live indoors, but when it's nice out, I'll go to work. I will put them outside. My daughter lets them in when she gets home from school at 2 o'clock. So I had them locked in the kennel. I left for work. I work 6 to 2:30, so I was already at work.
Were they not magicians? How did they get out? When you came home, you didn't see that you didn't lock it?
They must have climbed the kennel fence. There is no top on the kennel. It's just a top.
Oh, that's not a kennel? All right, so wait a second. That's totally different.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So are pit bulls more aggressive than the average dog, or do they have a bad rap?
They have a bad rap.
Why?
It's the people who train them that make them bad dogs. It's not the dogs themselves.
So I guess, I hear that a lot. Are there so many bad pit bull trainers out there? Because we have more pit bull cases than any other case.
Yeah, well, I think that a lot of the trainers kind of stink and they don't really know how to train their pit bulls, because I've actually met some really nice pit bulls.
You guys agree with that? Pit bulls?
I agree, definitely.
Huh?
I think it's just the perception of the dog itself. I mean, and who makes the dog a certain way. They're not
Inherently bad.
right.
Got your point? Going inside the courtroom.
You need to figure out a way to keep your pit bulls at your house.
Yes.
Because
Yes, I
the
do.
rest of the community does not want to see them. But clearly, this would be your responsibility.
Oh, well, 100%.
Okay, so now you go to the vet. You actually, a neighbor of yours took the dog to the vet. The same neighbor?
His sister.
His sister.
She is Coco's godmother.
Godmother?
Yes.
It's a dog. What do you mean? The dog is a godmother? What, did you have to do a
love
christening?
my
What,
neighbor.
you just mean that in the...
We didn't try that, but maybe we did.
Okay. So the sister of
They're
Superman
brothers.
takes the dog to the vet.
The vet, yes.
And he pays a $300 payment at the beginning, right?
I paid up front because my dog needed to be released from the hospital, the
Right.
animal hospital, so I had to pay.
And then you brought it to him.
I brought it to him. And
Had you met him before this or no?
No.
All right.
We didn't
And
know
then
each
he
other.
was very nice then.
Oh,
right?
yes.
He hands you the $300 bill.
He sure did.
Okay. And that vet bill of that day was how much? $300?
No, the vet bill was $900 and a little under $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does he promise you that he's going to pay the rest of it?
Yes.
All right. And then what happens?
He told me that he would be able to make another payment that following Friday. So when I called that following Friday to make sure a payment was made, I found out a $25 payment was made. So
Okay.
I kind of figured, well, I can't, go on with a $25 payment a month on a $1,000 bill. That's just not going to happen because I don't want to get stuck along the line and then I'm caught with a large bill.
Right.
So I told him that I'm going to have to just put this on paper and take it to small claims. And he was very understanding of it.
Okay. How do you figure that making a $25
I
payment?
actually paid $25 a week.
Okay, how many $25 payments had you made?
I have made 5. I made 5.
Okay, did you ever talk to the vet? And
I did. They wouldn't legally take it out of her name.
Right.
Because it's her. But I did work out a payment arrangement with the Middleborough
Did you ever
Animal
talk to the
Hospital.
vet and they tell you, don't worry, it's fine, we'll just accept payments? Did you ever talk to the vet?
No, they kind of knew what was going on.
No, but that wasn't my question. Did you ever talk to him and say, hey, how do you feel about his $25? In other words...
No, I never asked them.
Right, because I might say, all right, if it works for them and it works for him, I got to check on this and make sure he doesn't do anything wrong, but I might wait to sue him until he did something wrong. You were unhappy that he didn't pay the whole thing and decided, you know what, I can't risk that he's going to mess up along the path. But wouldn't you just speak to your vet and see if your vet was okay with it?
I think they would have been okay with it because I've gone to them before with my dog. She'd had surgery before and I made small payments.
My question is, so why didn't you just leave that alone?
I just didn't want to take a risk.
Okay.
Just like you said, along the line, and then...
Show me about your front door damage. Show me pictures and show me an estimate. And you have a $200 claim for pain and suffering for the dog?
Yes. Right now, she's dealing with trauma.
That is evidenced how?
She gets up at 3 in the morning, crying, whimpering. I'm thinking she needs to go to the bathroom, which is pretty unusual at 3 o'clock, because normally before I go to bed, I take her
unusual
out.
for your dog.
But it's always exact at around 3 a.m. She gets up 2 times during the week, whimpering and crying.
Oh my
and she has like a blank stare in her eyes.
And I assume your boys all take turns waking up with her to take her outside.
No, they don't hear it.
Nah.
They don't hear a thing.
No, they're sound sleepers.
They're sound sleepers.
It must have been very tough for you and your kids to witness that.
It was, I think, more tough for them, yeah.
And you can't just fix the screen?
No, because of the damage, the way it's cracked.
But what's cracked is the frame of the screen. Mm-hmm. So can't you just pop in a new screen?
Well, I went to Lowe's to find out if I can get just a screen, but because the door, I guess it was discontinued, they gave me the whole estimate of just replacing the whole door.
But don't go to Lowe's, go to a place that does screens. And right? How much what was the estimate they gave you for a brand new door? It was $479. All right. You don't get pain and suffering in a case like this. You can't quantify the pain and suffering of a dog. The vet bill that remains is $586.96.
Yep.
And according to you, you're not going to pay another penny. Why? Because she was rushing you?
I never actually had said that.
So tell me what your position is, that if it's good enough for the vet, it should have been good enough for her.
Yes, I worked it out completely with Middleborough Animal Hospital. They've mailed me all the receipts from my payments. I have been contacting them weekly, and they were completely fine with the payments, and there was no issues whatsoever.
Here's the thing. I totally understand what you're saying. It's not like
I also offered to put something in writing stating that is 100% my responsibility for her peace of mind.
Right.
Before we went to court.
Yeah, that would have done it for me.
So, I tried to handle it.
That would have totally done it for me. I would not want to have to go through the effort of suing you if the doctor's okay and you put it in writing. I would feel secure and just be patient. However, the way I would behave does not affect what she has a legal right to do. She has a legal right not to have this debt outstanding in her name.
Correct.
She has a legal right to get a judgment against you. She has that legal right.
And I was completely understanding of that.
So here's what we're going to do. Show me proof of all the $25 that you've paid.
There's this, and then I have the canceled $300 check, but you don't need that.
No, I know about that one. And that $425, yes, that's what you took into account that he had paid. Do you have pictures of your dog?
Of Coco, yes, I do.
Do you have pictures of the injuries?
I don't have pictures of the injuries because, again, my neighbor brought my dog to the vet.
Do you have pictures of your dog? Let me see.
I was just thinking about her and her safety that I didn't think of taking pictures.
And do you have pictures of Bonnie and Clyde? Is that what you call his dogs? That's not actually their names, right?
I did, because they travel in pairs. I mean, I have reports on them getting away from the home numerous times.
How many times have your 2 pit bulls escaped?
They've escaped 3 times.
That's not okay.
No, believe me, I know. That's why I put the 15-foot kennel up.
Have they escaped any time since this?
No, I only bring them outside to go to the bathroom on leashes. They are not put in the kennel. They are not let out in the backyard. They are only under my supervision. And they've never attacked anything or anyone previous to this occasion. On any of the times that they've escaped, never has there been any type of altercation.
They did break into a neighbor's home on 2 occasions inside
They broke into the home?
They did.
Yes.
They did.
I
There
have
was
it
a
here.
dog.
Why is this funny? This isn't funny. Why
Through
would
their screen door.
Okay, I don't know what you're looking for, but
I
I'm
was
ready
looking
to
for the pictures of the dogs,
Okay,
but I
I'm ready
can't
to
call them Bonnie and
find them.
I'm done. We're done. We're done. All right. I find in favor of the plaintiff in the remaining amount of the vet bill. She doesn't, even though I kind of don't get why she's in such a hurry, she does have a right to have a judgment against you, and
I understand.
And it's not my job to tell her to be patient. $586.96. As for the front door damage, I'm going to estimate that a new screen, having a screen person come in and create a new screen for you there will be about $200. You're not entitled to an entirely new front door because the screen is damaged. And there is no pain and suffering. So I find in your favor in the amount of $786.96. That is my judgment. I hope you get it.
100% I do.
Yeah, 100%, because it shouldn't take 3 times of your 2 pit bulls getting out for you to get that there might be a problem. And the problem has mercifully not involved the injury to humans yet. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Well, the defendant loses his case. You talk a very responsible game in the courtroom, but what's it going to take for you to realize how dangerous the situation is?
They are not being let outside on their own, I can tell you that. So.
Well, you never know when an accident will happen. Somebody else.
I'm going to have a professional fence guy come in and build a stronger kennel, I think.
Mm-hmm. Is it worth it to keep dogs that are that dangerous around?
I don't believe that they're dangerous. I just think it was a crazy set of circumstances. There was a bowl of food on the porch, and I think that her dog was in its rights, obviously, to protect the dog and its food.
Throw a little kid into the scenario. What do you got?
I have 3 young children, and the dogs are totally gentle.
Those are yours.
Numerous children have been around the dogs.
All right, right around the corner this way. Okay, so come on out here. Tell me what's your reaction to this outcome here?
I'm glad it all worked out. I'm just glad the dogs are safe. They're alive. He was very generous, apologetic, and we took care of it here, and I'm glad. And
What about if he had been out there? The little guy. What about,
well,
I mean, the big guy here, the big guy.
Well, he was indoors. I made sure he stayed inside, but he and I were outdoors fighting.
What if?
You're right.
Does that worry you?
It does. It worries me till this day to even come outside. I'm constantly looking up and down the street to see if I see Bonnie and Clyde walking down the street again. So.
Okay. What do you think? Right. Harvey?
So the judge said that you can't get pain and suffering for a dog. The reason is dogs are considered property under the law. And it sounds ridiculous, and it really is, but they are property, and you don't get pain and suffering for property. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. This Monday night, witness the end of an era. John Cena takes center stage for his final appearance ever on Monday Night Raw. One last match, one unforgettable farewell. Come celebrate the legacy of a true WWE legend. Monday Night Raw, November 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, only on Netflix. Be there for the moment everyone will be talking about.
A message from McAfee. Wondering why the post office is texting you or why you owe thousands of dollars in toll fees? Because someone's trying to scam you. The good news? McAfee can help. With McAfee's award-winning scam detection, it's easy to tell what's real and what's fake over text, in your inbox, and online. If they're
You want a free gift.
Seriously? If they're faking it, they're not making it past us. Get award-winning scam detection today. McAfee.com/keepitreal.
This is the plaintiff, Jennifer Kleinow. She says she rented an apartment from the defendant, and now that she's moved out, he's making up all these so-called damages, so he doesn't have to give her back her security deposit. When she complained and told him she was going to have to take him to court, he told her she is poor and can't afford half the lawyer he can. He doesn't know who he's tangling with, because she's done her research, and now she has every right to sue him for double her security. And that's why she's seeking $3,700 here today. This is the defendant, Arkadiusz Tansy. He says the plaintiff assured him the apartment was in perfect condition when she moved out, but when he inspected the place, it was filthy, disgusting, a pig pen of a mess. Due to the extensive damages to the apartment, he has every right to keep her security, and that's just what he did. He's accused of taking it out on a tenant.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant is making up all sorts of bad stuff she supposedly did in the apartment so that he doesn't have to return her security. But the defendant says the apartment was a pigsty. It's the case of Piggly Wiggly.
Okay, Ms. Kleinow, thank you, Douglas. You are suing Mr. Tansky, your former landlord, for $3,700, double the security deposit that he refuses to return because, according to you, he is inappropriately holding on to it. Tell me what you are talking about. What happened?
Correct. To start off, I moved in December of 2010. Everything was great until Sandy. We had a hurricane it devastated our whole East Coast, as you know. Luckily, we really had not that much damage. Then after that was a flood. No, in August, he called to say he couldn't renew the lease.
Why?
He said that he was in a financial bind, that he was
getting
a
the place for himself.
Yes, he was.
So he didn't renew your lease, and you had to find somewhere else to go.
Yes.
And when it's time to go, he has a complaint about the way you left the place.
Right. Before that, there was a huge flood in my house. One of his main water lines broke.
Okay.
I lost everything in my basement. I'm a nursing student. I'm in my last quarter, and I have 2 kids. I'm a single mom, so I work very hard for everything I have. When I told him that I lost all my kids' winter clothes and everything I have, he told me to prove it, and he's not doing anything to help me.
What do you mean? Well, everybody would tell you to prove it.
Right,
That's
no.
That's not the same as telling you to.
All I asked him was for some help. I said, "That's fine. I'll help him." But when I started telling him
Wait a minute. Stop. What happened with the flood? Do you have pictures of that?
No, I didn't. I just
do you have pictures of the damaged goods?
No, I let it go. I absolutely let it go.
Okay, but do you want me to let it go? Because I don't know what it is you're saying.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely letting it go.
Okay, so let's get to what you're here about, which is he won't return your $1,850 security deposit.
Right.
The reason he won't is he says that, and we'll talk to him in a second, but he says that you left the place a shambles. So tell me about that.
So I texted him on the 30th, and I said, what time?
The 30th of what month?
Of October.
And that's when you moved out, right?
I moved out on the 27th.
Okay.
I asked him to do a walkthrough with me. This way, if there's anything that he needs me to do, that I can get it done for him. So I called him, and he told me, never mind, I can't come, I'm out of town. So then Sunday, we never did the walkthrough. That's when he texted me the list of things.
Let me see that text. What do you say is wrong with the place?
Well, the place was really dirty. There was a missing stuff. A few things was broken.
I need to hear and see proof of all of what you're saying.
Thank you.
Okay, so he sends you a text on November 3rd. All right, carpet in the living room is so dirty, can't be cleaned, that it needs to be replaced. There's a hole in the carpet as well. Show me the proof of that.
I have pictures as well.
I'm assuming your pictures make it look pristine and his pictures are close up.
Oh, no, I have really good pictures as well.
You have what?
And I also offered to have it professionally cleaned.
Well, yeah, but you didn't. You can't, like, move out, wait, and then say, oh,
well, that's why, because he's a contractor. He told me that he was going to be doing a lot of the work in the house. So before I did anything, like he was going to paint, he was going to do all that stuff. So before I did anything, I wanted to hold off to have the walkthrough because he, like I said, he's a contractor.
The walkthrough's supposed to be at the end? Okay.
Right. Well, that's why I moved out.
I mean, if you have that agreement with him, that's fine. But if you don't have that agreement with him, you can't just.
Why I kept
you
asking
can't just
him.
do as little as possible and wait to see if he's going to hold your money.
The only thing, it was only like the rugs that were bad.
Oh, it's not only. I'm looking at a lot of pictures here, my dear. I'm looking at what's this here?
I can't.
Was there a hole in the wall and you tried to fix it?
Yeah, I fixed it, and he told me not to paint over it.
All that I see is the mesh and virtually no spackle on there. Who fixed that? You did? Mm-hmm. Who did the cleaning?
I did.
Oh, not your best work. Tell me about the blinds.
So when I first moved in, him and his wife, well, his ex-wife, told me that they only put blinds up because they didn't want people looking into their home, and I can throw them away. But I chose to keep them. No, it was just like
Did you tell her that she could throw the blinds away?
She's confusing stuff. She's thinking about the blinds in the front entrance, not inside of the house.
Do you have a picture of how they looked when she moved in? Do you have a picture of the apartment before she moved in?
I mean, I have a movie, but it's on a stick.
No, but that's fine. Is that movie after she moved out or before she moved?
Before.
Who was living there at the time?
Nobody.
So it's empty?
I bought this property, I renovated this property, and I put it in the service. Everything was brand new.
I got it. So the stick is going to show me how it looked right before she moved in.
Correct.
Oh, I need that. That's very important.
There was no...
Did you leave these wheels in the back?
No, that was the neighbor that lives in the same house with me. He had a bike back there.
Wait, and the other side of the duplex?
Yes.
What's this a picture of?
This is a carpet in the basement.
Where?
On the stairs on the basement.
That looks really bad.
Those were the same rugs that were there when I came in. The basement is not finished. It was trashed like
honey,
when we came in.
listen to my question. Who spilled all that garbage on it?
No, that's been like that forever.
Was it that way when you moved in? Did your kids do it forever ago?
No.
Was it that way when you moved in?
That I really can't remember. I can't even guarantee that.
Yeah, that's kind of like integral to what you're saying. There's a hole in the carpet. That wasn't that way when you moved in?
No, that wasn't.
What's all this stuff? All these stickers and all this?
I brought that with me because when I did the walkthrough, I was just going to peel that off. It's just these little wall clings.
Listen to my question. I understand that you're struggling. I understand that you got a lot on your plate. Why don't you give yourself a fighting chance?
Absolutely, and that's
you're
the biggest
supposed to
lesson I
leave
learned.
the day you leave in October, because you didn't pay rent for November, right?
No.
Right, so the day you leave, it's supposed to be pristine in the way it was pristine. It's supposed to be in broom swept condition in the way it was handed to you. Absolutely. It can't be, so like if something happens like Hurricane Sandy, that's not your fault. But if something happens like you got stickers and graffiti, your kid takes a magic marker and writes on the walls, what do you think is going to happen? You think the landlord's going to say it's fine?
Nothing is marker.
Well, how do I, watch this, was it marker?
There was some marker.
And you needed to what? How did you get this off the walls?
Primer and paint.
Right. See, he wants to prime and paint because
Right.
he's moving in there. So the last thing that someone in your position does is give him a chance to prime and paint on your nickel, right? But how is it you're coming up to, let me see your receipts because I want to understand how you're coming up to $1,800. And when you bought the house, it had a rug in it, right? You didn't put in the rug when you bought the house, did you?
I put the rug. The rug was
you
brand
did?
new.
You put in a new rug when she moved in?
Everything was brand new.
Okay, do you have a receipt for that?
No, I don't have the receipt on
Okay,
me, but
let me
we can
see
see this
the
on the
video
movie.
that's there.
Everything brand new. All the walls painted. All the trim painted. Brand new kitchen cabinets. Brand new. New Maytag refrigerator. Brand new. All walls painted. 2 bedrooms upstairs. All walls painted. Carpets. Living room, second floor, stairs, new carpet.
When did you take that video?
Right, a few days before Jennifer moved in.
Okay, we're going to give me the stick. Court's in recess. Fabulous.
Okay, all rise. So who's more abusive, landlords or tenants?
I believe landlords, they have more power.
They have more power, but who abuses the power more, landlords or tenants?
I actually think tenants and landlords have the same amount of power, just landlords are more aware of it because they work with so many tenants and they use that to their advantage.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
So let's talk about a few things first, okay? I looked at this on a laptop, and indeed it does have a date, and the date is back in 2010. Now, one of the things that you brought up that we haven't discussed yet, and I want to discuss it, is notice. He notified you through text, correct?
No, he didn't give me an itemized list at all. He didn't tell me anything about.
You handed me the text where he gave you an itemized
Right, but
list.
that's nothing. That wasn't itemized. That was before we even. He didn't tell me how much. He didn't tell me anything. And I was, doing any type of research I could, and it said that it had to be how much he was going to be taking out, how much I'd be getting back.
The statute requires that a landlord, within 30 days from the termination of a tenancy, to return the tenant's deposit, including the tenant's portion of the interest accrued thereon, less valid charges. And if not, it's doubled. That's where she comes up with the doubling. And it requires you to do that by personal delivery, registered or certified mail.
I just wanted to point out, I did highlight it in our lease. We have in the lease that it does have to be certified.
Oh, I need to see that. All right. The landlord shall inspect the property after the tenant vacates at the end of the term. Within 30 days of the termination of this lease, the landlord shall return the security deposit plus the undistributed interest to the tenant, less any charges expended by the landlord for damages to the property resulting from the tenant's occupancy. The interest and deductions shall be itemized in a statement by the landlord and shall be forwarded to the tenant with the balance of the security deposit by personal delivery, registered or certified mail. Did you do that?
No, I didn't know her new address.
But it was forwarded from the post office. If you don't know a new address, you just do it to the old address and it gets there. Did you ever give him your new address?
I had everything forwarded, and I told him to to send it to the old address, and it was forwarded. I did bring a piece of mail showing that all my mail was forwarded.
Okay. Let's first go over actual damage that I think that you did to the apartment that is beyond what's wear and tear. Okay. I think that the carpets are a total lost cause, and that $675 to replace the carpets is, frankly, quite little. I think that the place I'm with you on, if you say that stuff belongs to the neighbor, then that stuff belongs to the neighbor. There's things that I would never, but the cleaning. So if in fact, we'll put the notice issue to a side one moment, had notice been appropriately given, I would find that the carpeting, the cleaning, and some of the painting. So, there'll be a sum for that.
Now, does it matter that he told me I couldn't paint?
Clean the stuff off the walls. Okay?
Got it.
And if a carpet can be cleaned, clean it.
Got it.
And don't wait for somebody to tell you what your job is as a grown-up. It's your job as a grown-up. You know that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Your Honor?
No. Let me tell you what your job is as a grown-up. If you want to get all legal on people, you ought to know what the law is. You ought to know what's in your contract, and you ought to know what the lease requires. Okay? So what is required is for you to give notice of what you're keeping in a certain way. And then what the law requires a court to do is that what you keep over and beyond what you are entitled to keep now gets doubled as a punishment to you for not notifying the way the law requires you to notify. Do you understand? That's why I went through the analysis first. Because if I find that 925 could have appropriately been withheld, all right, then my job is to take the $1,850 you gave him, subtract the 925. Oh, isn't that a happy coincidence? It's exactly half. That would mean that if he had notified you appropriately, I would only be ordering a judgment in your favor in the amount of $925. But because he didn't notify you appropriately, the statute requires me to take the part you wrongfully withheld, which I find happens to coincidentally be $925, and double it. Therefore, I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,850. That is my judgment. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, here he comes. The defendant has just learned his lesson in court on the law.
I think the justice wasn't done over here, so I'm not happy, of course.
No, of course not. But you understand that you didn't provide notice in the legally appropriate way.
Yes, I do.
Right? Why didn't you?
Well, I just didn't.
Next time?
I didn't have her address, and I didn't think that I can just put into her old address.
There's your mistake. And so next time?
Probably there won't be next time.
Yeah. All right. Right down this way. All right. So on that legal, not really a technicality, but you have to know the law. Apparently you did.
Absolutely.
How are you feeling here coming out here?
I'm happy. I learned that the best part of life is knowledge, and you could be poor and still be smart.
That's good. You did leave the place in, you should have done a better job, even according to the judge. You had more responsibility here. You got bailed out on a legal thing.
If that's what you like to call it.
Right. I mean, could you have done a better job on that place?
I think we both could have done a better job.
All right. All right. Good luck with everything. Harvey?
So, we always talk about normal wear and tear. The fact is, it's a very subjective thing. The longer you stay in an apartment, the more leeway a tenant has in terms of how he leaves the place. If you're there for 10 years and the place needs repainting, it's probably not something the landlord can dock you for. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Hey there, it's Dr. Sanjay Gupta with some exciting news to share. CNN is now streaming. That means you can read, watch, and stream everything in one subscription. You can watch news live 24/7. You can also explore catch-up videos and explainer videos, and you can also watch the library of CNN's originals, including my latest documentary, It Doesn't Have to Hurt. Just go to cnn.com/all-access.
This is the plaintiff, Steven Ziza. He says he purchased a motorcycle from the defendant, and the louse hid and misrepresented the condition of the bike. He's tried to contact him, but the slimy guy won't respond to him. So he's doing what the law allows and suing the crook right here and right now for the $5,000 it's going to cost him to repair the thing. This is the defendant, Lance. He says he told the plaintiff the bike needed some tender loving care because it was a bit older. The guy loaded the bike into his pickup, paid him, and drove off into the night. Now, a few months later, he's complaining about the bike's condition and demanding all this money from him after he's done who knows what with it. Hardy har har har. He's accused of selling a bum bike.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff bought a motorcycle from the defendant and says the chopper was not as advertised. But the defendant says he was absolutely honest. It's the case of Chopper. He hardly knew her.
Thank you, Douglas. Stephen Ziza?
Ziza, yes.
Okay. You are suing Lance, you've asked to be referred to only by your first name, for $5,000. According to you, your damages exceed that regarding a 1992 motorcycle that you bought from him for $1,200.
That's correct.
Okay. So why aren't you suing for $1,200 if that's what you paid for it?
I'm suing to get it into the condition that he had represented it as.
All right. So tell me what happened.
So I purchased it on January 24th, and I bought it on eBay after contacting him a couple of times through eBay messaging system.
Okay. Do you have those messages?
I do have those messages.
Okay. And do you have the original ad?
No.
Okay. Do you have the original ad?
No, ma'am, but I have a brief description of the bike that was placed on the ad.
Okay. In other words, what I'd like to see are any of the representations he made to you before you bought the bike.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And then can I see the description of the bike? Okay. So you ask, does it run properly and is it ready to ride? Question mark. Does transmission shift smoothly, i.e. clutch is in good shape? Do you have the title for it, and if so, is it clean? And to which he responds, title is clean, runs well, clutch is good. Will need brake pads soon, and battery is not the best. Lasts for a few weeks, but needs trickle charger if sitting for more than a few weeks. Otherwise, in good shape and ready to ride. Okay, so did you see it before you got it on eBay? All right, so then you go over to pick it up, and do you test drive it or anything?
He had told me that he was putting it on the trickle charger a couple of days beforehand so that when I got there, it would be able to start and I would be able to test drive it. And when I got there, he said that it didn't really take and that the battery was bad. The signs were of a bad battery when I got there. The headlight worked, everything functioned per se, and then when you went to start it, it would just click as if the battery was low and the headlight just completely turned off.
Right,
So
but that deprives you of the ability to see if everything else runs, right?
Yes,
Okay, so why didn't you just wait and have it seen by a mechanic or something?
because I drove about 2 hours through the traffic, and then I also didn't want to forfeit my deposit at the time.
Well, you wouldn't. I mean, if you went there and the thing didn't run, you know you wouldn't have forfeited your deposit. Your father's a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Your father sent him a lawyer letter saying, I want either the money to get this functioning the way you promised, or I want his money back.
Yes.
Okay, so you know you wouldn't have forfeited that original money. It's just that you drove all the way over there, and then maybe the thing looked good to you. How did it look? Was it pretty?
For the year
What's wrong with the thing?
Ma'am, as I explained to the plaintiff, ma'am, my wife and I drove the bike in the summer on the weekends, and I can assure you I wouldn't have rode my wife on the bike if I didn't feel the bike was up to par. The bike is an old bike. It was over 20 years old. Yes, it needed some TLC. When we put the bike on eBay, we put it on for a $0 bid. What
does that mean?
Well, we started off at zero, at $1 for the bike. If the bid would have reached $150, ma'am,
you would have had to sell it for $150?
My wife wanted me to get rid of the bike. So
why does she want you to get rid of the bike?
I have 3 small children. Well, I have 3 teenagers, and it was just, something that's always.
Are they small children or are they teenagers? They're teenagers.
Well,
you want them out the door.
Me,
they're not. Okay, they're babies to you. I don't know.
So
mine seem like grown-ups who hang around all the time and never pay for anything.
So
that's how mine seemed to me. My 3 teenagers. So she had enough of the donor cycle issue, and she wanted you to move on.
Yes.
And
so
grow up.
Again, I just wanted to part with it. So whatever, and I was happy with when it reached the bid, and I think that it was worth it. Again, it needed TLC.
All right, so you take possession of the bike, and what do?
I went ahead and I bought a battery, and I bought the battery on January 28th, and that's when I had started working on it. I put the battery in, and it was turning over, but it wouldn't start. So then I was looking into some of it, and the spark plugs were definitely fouled. So I had bought new spark plugs, and then at that point I had gotten it to start, but it backfired extremely rough from the rear cylinder, and then it also overheated as I was working on it. And then I led that to a bad fan switch, which is about a $100 part, and then this is where...
I'm sorry, are you a mechanic?
No.
You dabble?
No, I work on many things, including my car. It's a 1984 Pontiac Grand Prix, so
Well,
I
you're
get
the
my
kind of
hands...
guy who should be able to look at it and see this. Like you're more informed than the average buyer.
So is buying a used vehicle like a motorcycle or a car on eBay too risky?
I think so.
Why?
Because you don't know what you're getting. It's a picture and they can tell you anything you want.
Well, what's the difference between buying a car on eBay and, say, going to a private seller's house?
You know, maybe it could be different than the picture you see on eBay, and the house, you could see more, you can see the inside of it.
So you actually can feel and touch and smell and all the things.
Yeah.
Got your point. Going inside the courtroom.
Here's what I need to hear from you. What specific warranty did he make? Because when you buy a used vehicle like this, whether it's a car or a motorcycle, it's an as-is sale by default, as I'm sure your dad explained to you. It's an as-is sale. So he has to have made to you some specific warranty that he's violated. And it can't be stuff like runs good or runs well. It can't be, that's not a specific warranty. Clutch is great. That's kind of a specific warranty. Was there something wrong with the clutch?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any proof that the clutch was bad?
From just me.
Look, I feel bad for you. But you bought a 20-year-old bike on eBay without a mechanic looking at it. And from a guy who said the following: title's clean, it was. Clutch is good. You haven't shown me any evidence that it isn't. We'll need brake pad soon. Battery's not the best. Lasts for a few weeks, but needs trickle charger sitting more than a few weeks. Otherwise, good shape and ready to ride.
Your Honor?
You can't sue on an as-is sale because it's not in good shape. Otherwise, the exception that you want me to find swallows the rule. I can't do anything for you.
Okay.
All right. Good luck to you, sir. A verdict is for the defendant.
Well, once again, an as-is sale turns out to be exactly what it is, an as-is sale. You understand the law there?
Yeah, I do.
What did you expect the judge to do for you?
I expected to either get the money to put it in the condition that he had represented due to it being misrepresented, or just for me to be able to give the bike back and then just get my money back.
Well, as-is doesn't work that way. Why didn't you have it looked at before you bought it?
Because it was represented as being in decent shape, and then I had asked the detailed questions.
We've had this case so many times, and the outcome's almost always the same.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, right around the corner this way. All right, step on in here and tell me, if you had to put yourself in his shoes, how would you feel?
Well, sir, again, I gave the gentleman the opportunity to come back the following week or whenever he could without purchasing the bike at that time, and I would put a battery on it, but he would reimburse me for the battery, and at that time he could start it and ride it. It was his decision to take it, and I told him that he could come back, that he didn't have to purchase it at that time. He made that decision. All I can say is that I'm glad that Your Honor ruled in my favor.
What do you think, Harvey?
You know, we always talk about warranties on this show. And, you know, it is so important when you buy something, you have the power before you plunk down the money to protect yourself and to write down what your expectation is. When somebody says runs good, that's not a warranty. When you think about it, it's just like puffing. Oh, it runs good. What does that mean? It's too subjective. Make them say the brakes are in good condition, the transmission's in good condition. Be as specific as you can. If you are specific and you get it in writing, I am telling you, it will protect you more than you would possibly think.